I think we should always remember Alonzo Payne's intention. He had good intentions. Alonzo Payne got recalled because he wasn't respecting victims' rights. But it's not just the DA that does this. That's a prosecutor. They want to blame the progressive prosecutor as if the cops and the judges had nothing to do with it. Now, there's actually 9 ways to file criminal charges in Colorado, and I'm going to list them, okay, right now. So, 9 ways to file criminal charges. You arrest a person. If you're a cop, you arrest a person, then you file the complaint right afterwards. That's 16.3.102. Now, you can arrest anybody in Colorado because we got citizens arrest. In fact, I think it's just person. They say if a person sees a crime. So it's not citizen, it's not civilian. It's just any person who comes into Colorado who witnesses a crime can arrest that person. So if you're a cop, you can arrest a person, file the complaint. That's one way. If you're a citizen, civilian, foreigner, if you're not a cop, you can arrest the person and then file the complaint afterwards. The exact same thing. Everybody can arrest everybody. I would think that there's a higher threshold for a civilian arrest because what are you doing going around arresting people? Now, 7 more ways. The DA, there's, 3 main ways. There's 3 main ways that you can file a criminal charge. A grand jury indictment, and there's nothing more salt of the earth. Is that a grand jury indictment? That's the only way to put a felony charge on somebody, with a grand jury. That's the DA with the support of the people. And if you can convince 12 people that possibly a felony had happened, well, that's what you need a grand jury for. To stop all this fucking frivolous. Okay, so beyond a grand jury indictment, which is the DA, that again is the DA or a prosecutor, maybe the municipal city or the county prosecutor. But they have a grand jury, they get a bunch of people together, and then the grand jury could be a runaway grand jury. But that's the DA, the elected official, combined with the people. And the whole point of the grand jury is to go after the felons and to, not to weed out all the frivolous shit. So there's 3 ways to file criminal felony complaints in Colorado. One is a grand jury indictment. The other 2 ways is an information in district court or a felony complaint in county court. So let me explain the difference. An information is just what the DA provides. The DA provides an information in district court, then you get charges to go on. Now, in county court, a felony complaint is all you need, and you just got to get a prosecutor to file a felony complaint. Not exactly the DA or the deputies, but a prosecutor. And a prosecutor could be really any lawyer or any person. Since we have citizens arrest, then, we can probably defend ourselves in the court system too. But the prosecutor, because they say a lot of time the prosecuting attorney, not just the DA, but the prosecuting attorney, since you have county attorneys, district attorneys, and city attorneys, I'm going to assume all those prosecutors can get an arrest warrant, or they could get a summons in lieu of arrest warrant after they file a felony complaint in county court. So once again, the 3 ways you can file criminal charges, felony criminal charges in Colorado is number 1, a felony complaint in county court, number 2, an information in district court, and number 3, a grand jury indictment. Now, this is 9 ways to file criminal charges in Colorado. They have some extra things, okay? Now, if you take a look at CRS 16.5209, all the district, county, and city judges can force the prosecuting attorneys, whether it's district, county, or city, to file an information and or a felony complaint. They can force them to do so. All district, county, and city judges can say, hey, prosecutor, man or woman, come here. How come this person filed all this complaint? How come you didn't, why didn't you prosecute? Why didn't you go ahead, go forward with the case? And the prosecutor will have to explain himself or herself. They'll have to say, well, because I thought it was small and the evidence wasn't good enough. Or, they'll have to admit that they're a biased piece of shit. They don't respect victims' rights. And so therefore, the judge says, that's not good enough. Go ahead and file this. And the prosecutor has to go along with it. Now, if the prosecutor just feels like they're so biased that it's just, they're going to recuse themselves, you still have a mechanism. So all district, county, and city judges could force the prosecutor, district, city, and county to file an information and or a felony complaint. Now that's interesting because Alonzo Payne got recalled because they're saying it was all the prosecutor. It was all the prosecutor's fault. It was all Alonzo Payne's fault. Now if Alonzo Payne didn't file a complaint or an information, all the judges could have said, hey, how come you're not doing this? He gives a bad explanation. Then they force it. No, you got to prosecute this. You don't have a choice. You have to prosecute this according to CRS 16.5209. Now, if somehow he says he's just too biased, which is interesting, but let's say he's, recuses himself, then all the district, county, and city judges can call a special prosecutor to prosecute a case if the DA and deputies refused to do so. So CRS 16.5209, it's not all Alonzo Payne. How many judges? We got a lot of judges. Let's take a look at all the different judges that we have here in the 12th Judicial District. You got, the main judge, right? You got Michael A. Gonzalez. That's the chief judge. Then you got 3 district court judges. Kim Cortez Rodriguez, Krista Newmeyer Olson, and Amanda C. Hopkins. Then you have 6 county court judges, Jason T. Kelly, John W. Stinger, Daniel Walzels, Kimberly L. Wood, Ruth M. Asheson, Craig Schueneman. That's Saguache, Mineral, Costilla, Alamosa, Rio Grande, Conejos County, respectively. So we got county judges, right? Jason, John, Daniel, Kimberly, Ruth, and Craig. We got the 3 district court judges, Kim, Krista, Amanda, the chief judge, Michael A. Gonzalez. We have right there, that's 10 judges. That's 10 judges. We also got 2 magistrates, Craig Schueneman and Kimberly L. Wood. You got Christina A. Wingert, court executive. Bill Guru, chief probation officer. Well, let's look at the clerk of courts. They actually got some power too. Felix Gallegos, Jennifer Pacheco, Shelley Quintana, Brandia Taylor, Holly G. Wheelwright. These are all the people that's part of the judicial branch. You got 3 branches of government. These are all part of the judicial branch. Now, they pulled out some Sletta, Judge Sletta. I don't even know where the hell Judge Sletta is. Frankly, if you don't have the judge listed on your damn page, he can't represent in your district. But anyways, Judge Sletta was in there, and then I want to say that there's another freaking judge that determined probable cause that I never heard of him either. You also have jury commissioners, family court facilitators, self-represented litigate coordinator. Okay. Now, that was just from the 12th, that was from the government website. I found this other page. This is just their WebEx link page, but it has a list of all the judges' names. And people change, maybe the judges are all the same. If they are, then this is all redundant, but you'll remember their names, okay? Because they have a ton of power. When the DA says, I don't want to prosecute that, because that's what they're trying to say, that either he was failing to prosecute or he was dismissing it. And also, when he dismisses it, you got to write an explanation, and the judge doesn't have to dismiss. So the judge has a lot of discretion. And then also the police officers. You had that one woman that basically said it was all the DA, but let's just assume that's the case, okay? So you got a stalker, right? You told the DA, you told the main prosecutor, he don't give a shit. But you still got a stalker, so you got to deal with the stalker. The DA isn't doing shit, but you have judges. You also have cops. The judges can make the prosecutor prosecute the case if he doesn't want to. They don't have to dismiss a thing. They could just say no. I've heard that before. And so, not only that, but the judges can get a special prosecutor. So let's just assume, God, you don't want to make that prosecutor do it because he won't, really fight that hard and he doesn't really want to do it anyways. And so just get a special prosecutor. Get another prosecutor from some, pick a different damn lawyer somewhere around, or pick a prosecutor from, the county over. Get the 11th district or the 13th or the 14th judicial district prosecutors to come over. And then maybe, the prosecutor could go over there and help them with their cases, and you could have a nice symbiotic relationship. So call the clerk's office. Let's see, 719-376-5465, 719-672-3681. District Court Judge Michael Gonzalez. let's see, Amanda Hopkins, Judge Newmeyer Olson, Judge Kim Cortez Rodriguez. All these judges could have said, no, Alonzo Payne, you must prosecute. You must prosecute. And they didn't have to dismiss it. So really, the judges are to blame too. If victims' rights aren't being upheld, Robert Willett didn't uphold victims' rights, nor did, Alonzo Payne. So there's clearly a problem with the DA's office upholding victims' rights. When I called the police, in fact, none of them rat bastard. You should have a little card that just says, here's your victim's right. There's like 30 of them, so you can't sit there and recite but have a little card, give it to the person right there at the scene. Instead of saying, hey, you have, rights as a victim and here's all your rights, they were argumentative and lazy and incompetent. And, didn't fucking investigate, didn't stop the criminals from criminalizing. They didn't do shit. If anything, it almost like they're jealous of my dog actually protecting and serving. I wonder if they ever protected and served anybody in their goddamn life. So, to point out Alonzo Payne, okay, again, let's go back to Alonzo Payne. Let's say he doesn't prosecute the stalker. And let's say you can't get any of these judges. If you're in Mineral County, Ruth Atchison don't give a damn. Craig Schuneman in Watch County don't give a damn. Kimberly Wood in Costilla County. Jason Kelly in Conejos. John Stinger in Rio Grande. And Daniel Walzulz in Alamosa County. Let's assume none of them all give a damn. They're not going to tell the DA to, do the thing. They're not going to get a special prosecutor. They're not going to listen to the laws, and they're not going to, respect victims' rights. Let's assume all that's the case. You still have a police officer, and police officers have a discretion. They got their beat, right? They got to stay in their area. But what's to stop a police officer from going and checking that person that is being stalked? What is to stop a police officer from checking to make sure that the person who is being harassed or hounded isn't being harassed and hounded? Check them out every twice a day or something. Text them just to see if they're still kicking, to see if they're still alive. Just because the DA either failed to prosecute or dismissed the case doesn't mean that the entire system had to fail. The only reason they went after him, the main reason they went after him, is because he was Bernie Sanders endorsed. He was a progressive. There should have been a learning curve. He should have quit. I mean, that makes progressives seem so freaking weak already. And why do everybody hate progressives? If you don't believe in progress, what do you believe in? Going backwards and regressing? Just because you believe in something that doesn't... You shouldn't be threatened by people who actually believe in something. In fact, you should get yourself a couple beliefs too. Number 8, all district, county, and municipal judges, the court, can issue an arrest warrant without a prosecutor. Okay? So not only could all the cops could have, enforced, not, if he's being stalked, okay, nothing with the stalker, but you can investigate, you can ask questions, and if he shows up, you can beat him up and then, arrest him, take him to jail if you witness him committing a crime. So nothing said that the cops didn't have to stop, enforcing the law or looking, at the bad guys and stopping the violent bullshit. So the cops still could have done their cop stuff, even if you got a corrupt DA, even if you have a corrupt judge and DA system. The cops can still, enforce the law. So it's not just the DA or the prosecutors. It's the judges and the cops too. They all could have enforced victims' rights a lot better. All district, county, and municipal judges, a court can issue an arrest warrant without a prosecutor. Now this is 16.3.108. The title of which is Issuance of Arrest Warrant Without Information or Complaint. So if you don't have an information, right, that's the DA didn't file an information in district court, and you don't have the felony complaint, so you didn't have the prosecuting attorney, whatever, the county attorney or the municipal attorney filing the complaint, the issuance of the arrest warrant without information or complaint. And then number 9, grand jury indictment. DA and deputies can bring criminal charges by either A, filing an information in district court, or A grand jury indictment. So the last thing I'll say about that, I already mentioned the grand jury indictment. Number 8, this is such an important one because let's assume you don't even have a police officer, okay? You don't have a police officer, and you saw it yourself, but you don't have any other witnesses. The prosecutor isn't going to do anything. The judges isn't going to make them do. What are you going to do? Well, you can actually go into court And you could have an affidavit that was already written out by you and signed by you and notarized by a notary public. So they'll say, do you swear that this is the truth? And you'll say yes. Get it notarized. Write the affidavit out. Go to the judge. Remember, I just listed all those judges from before. Go to Daniel Wolzels or John Stinger, Jason Kelly, Kimberly Wood, Ruth Asheson, or Craig Schueneman. Go to any one of those judges or the district judges, right? Amanda Hopkins, Neumeier Olson, or Gonzalez. I want to say somebody else, Cortez, Rodriguez, or Kim Cortez. Go to any one of those judges. And they don't need a police officer. They don't need a prosecutor. All they need is a citizen, a person within their jurisdiction, within the 6 counties of the 12th Judicial District, Saguache, Mineral, Costilla, Conejos, Rio Grande, and Alamosa. And he can issue an arrest warrant himself, or he can issue a summons in lieu of an arrest warrant. But he doesn't need the DA to file an information. He doesn't need the prosecuting attorney to file any kind of felony complaint. This is fascinating to me because when my dog got murdered, I wrote this, 3, 4, 5 page. I called one cop, called 2 cops, called the DA investigator. What the hell do you got to do to get a good person's attention? These ain't good fucking people. These ain't good people. But I did so much shit. And at no point in time, I fought, Kim Woods. I told the judge I told the clerk. The clerk passed it to the judge. The judge said, go get a lawyer. Anyways, we'll come back.